By the time midfielder Michael Lahoud stepped up to the penalty spot, FC Cincinnati was in a 3-0 hole. Neither his team, nor visiting Minnesota United had managed to score in 120-plus minutes. The stalemate paved the way for the usual platitudes about a shootout being an unfair way to decide a closely contested cup match. The Major League Soccer Loons went on to win the U.S. Open Cup fourth-round match 0-0, 3-1 in penalties, over their United Soccer League hosts Wednesday night, advancing to the round of 16. That shootout got off to a rough start for the orange and blue when keeper Spencer Ritchie managed to get fingers to Christian Ramirez's opening attempt but couldn't keep it out of the goal. Kenny Walker compounded matters by making the crossbar ring with Cincy's first kick. After Colin Martin scored Minnesota's second, Loons goalkeeper Bobby Shuttleworth took his place in front of FCC's Sem DeWitt. The announced crowd of 15,486 at Nippert Stadium had serenaded the netminder with chants of "Shuttleworthless" earlier in the game. Unfazed, Shuttleworth parried DeWitt's waist-high effort while diving to his right, widening Minnesota's advantage. Watch a full replay of the match here. Centre-back Brent Coleman made it a perfect 3-for-3 from the spot for the Loons, giving Lahoud his turn with the hosts' cup run on the line. The Sierra Leonean did not disappoint, and became the first FCC player to put a shot past Shuttleworth on the night. Then Ritchie saved Colin Warner's shot to keep Cincy's hopes alive. In a game that at times seemed more in want of a victor than either team a victory, the moment might have caused a moment of doubt for some Loons. If so, Shuttleworth was not among them. Again moving to his right, Shuttleworth flashed a strong top hand to palm away Nazmi Al-Badawi's shot and sent Minnesota through to the round of 16. In the shootout, you need your keepers to come out for you, and I thought Shuttleworth did really well, said Minnesota coach Heath. He didn't dive too early, didn't make the mind up for the players. That's one thing we said, make them beat you, and I think he did that well. The win improved Minnesota United's all-time U.S. Open Cup record to 6 wins against 7 losses, and marked the first time the Loons have advanced beyond the fourth round. For FC Cincinnati, an exhausting duel in which it proved the equal of MLS opposition through extra time bore bitter fruit. Having reached the USOC semifinals after a Cinderella run last year, it defeated Detroit City and Pittsburgh Riverhounds by a combined margin of 7-2, only to lose on penalties against Minnesota. It was the Orange and Blues' 7th game in 26 days, and fatigue was surely a factor. Minnesota contended with a lack of fresh legs as well, as Adrian Heath was forced to bring on rookie Carter Manley for Eric Miller in just the 13th minute. The Loons training staff attended to one of Miller's legs, and deemed a knock sustained by the fullback serious enough to warrant removing him from the game. Heath wouldn't make a second substitution until extra time, and kept his third in his pocket through the final whistle. This after only rotating in 4 players who had not started against Sporting Kansas City on Sunday night: Maximiano, Martin, Warner and Abu Danladi. Heath offered, "We have 4 or 5 who've hardly played any football. The 3 central midfielders have hardly played any football. For them to put the shift in they did was very good. I've been in this game a long time. Not many people thought we were going to win tonight. I'm pleased we've quieted 1 or 2 people down for a few days." The first half began at a measured pace, producing only 8 shots. Minnesota kept a majority of the possession, while Cincinnati relied on its counterattack and created more half chances, taking 5 shots to Minnesota's 3. Using a 51st-minute free kick to take the game's temperature after the restart, Loons fullback Tyrone Mears opted to roll a free kick from inside Cincinnati's half backwards so his teammates could recirculate the ball, as opposed to sending the ball into the box in hopes of immediately opening scoring. As both teams grew tired, the game opened up. A pair of Cincinnati midfielders began to threaten Minnesota's defense, with Russell Cicerone and Corbin Bone emerging as the most likely candidates to either set up or produce the game's first goal. Both loosed shots from inside Minnesota's 18-yard box, but Bone could only below the side netting, with Cicerone going a step further to produce a reaction save from Shuttleworth. Half chances came and went. FCC forward Emery Welshman was unable to direct an open header on goal from 12-yard out. A cross from Mears whistled just over the top of Dan Lottie's head. An animated Heath shouted for a penalty in the 110th minute when Cincinnati tackle Kanan pushed down on Ramirez's shoulders while contesting a cross sent into the box. The two teams combined for 5 blocks and countless clearances in and around the two goals, as it seemed nothing would separate the pair. Ultimately, Shuttleworth, as he'd done in his 9-save performance against Kansas City on May 20th, was able to get a result for the Loons. I just want to get through. That's the name of the game. You win and advance or lose and go home. Heath said. It was a very difficult environment. But for our guys, I was really pleased with them because on the back of the weekend result, I thought we dug in and worked really hard for the result. Comments.